Oi, oi, people, how's it doing? Welcome back to another Bogan breakdown. It's time here to discuss the match that's upcoming against Crystal Palace, Arsenal and Crystal Palace, which is happening, I believe, on Tuesday morning. For those of us here in Australia, that's a lovely, inconvenient time for us. Wake up before work, watch a game, and then nip down to work, guys. You know what it's like being an international fan. Just the sort of things that you have to do. Now, today, guys, I'm going to keep this one brief. It's been a long day for me. My uncle's funeral was today. Rest in peace, Raymond. What a fucking guy. What a fucking guy. There's not many words that I can say to sum up what a wonderful man he was. But, rest in peace. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep this one brief and... but I had to say something about it. So, before we get into the game, guys, there's one other thing that I wanted to address. These comments by Thierry Henry during the week that he doesn't necessarily think that Arsenal are going the right direction under Mikel Arteta. Now, I've seen a lot of back and forth on this issue. Some people are very, shut up, Thierry, you're just angling for the manager's job. Some people are saying, look, he has a conflict of interest because he's part of the takeover consortium. And some people are saying, well, he's right. Listen to the words he's saying. I don't see it either. Arteta's a fraud, blah, 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 blah. Look, I don't have a particularly strong opinion on Arteta, if I'm entirely honest. I don't think we have seen enough out of Arteta to be able to definitively say that he is the guy. And for that reason, I would tend to agree with what Thierry says. I'm not sure that we are going in the right direction under Mikel Arteta. We're now a couple of years into Arteta's reign, and we still don't really seem to have... Well, we do more than like a team like United, but we don't really seem to have an identity on the pitch that I'm convinced is going to take us to the next level, to be able to compete for trophies or even to compete for top four. Really, I'm just not convinced in that respect. And I think if you are convinced at this stage, given that we've had 2 8th-place finishes, and a number of underwhelming games, and games like Brighton where we didn't really control the ball as we would have in the past, which is what Thierry's point was. I think if you are convinced that Arteta is the right guy, then you're a bit nuts. That's not to say that he isn't the right guy or won't become the right guy. It's just that if you are convinced now, I don't know what you're going off, really, because I don't think there's been enough to show definitively that he is that guy, people. So yeah, look, I would tend to agree with what Henry's saying. He definitely has a conflict of interest, being obviously associated with Daniel Ek and the potential takeover of Arsenal. But I feel like if the King didn't believe what he said there, I just think he wouldn't have said anything. You can point that and go, well, he's only saying that because it suits his interest. Well, he could be saying that because it suits his interest. He could be saying that because it's his opinion, and that's why it suits his interest. I don't understand why everyone is framing it in terms of Henry is part of the takeover consortium, therefore he is only saying this because of that. Maybe this is his opinion, and that's the reason for him wanting to be part of the takeover consortium. You know what I mean? It's like a chicken and the egg thing. If he believed that Arsenal were going in the right direction, would he be willing to, try and take over ownership of Arsenal? Potentially not. Look, it's a difficult one. There's no answer, and I guess we'll never know. But moving on to the game, guys, let's discuss the game. So, international football is done. A couple of our players did quite well on the international break. We've had a few goals. Hopefully they can bring that into the team. Partey scored a free kick. I've never seen him take a shot that good for Arsenal. Hopefully he pulls something out of the bag and doesn't just smash the ball into the fucking stratosphere like he has been doing every time he's been taking shots when he's on the pitch for Arsenal, guys. So, look, I think Palace have got 7 points out of 7 games, something like that. They've got quite a nice, exciting young team. They've obviously got Patrick Vieira, who's an Arsenal legend in there. It'll be great to see him on the pitch, on the side of the pitch as we play the game. Like a Conor Gallagher, I've been quite impressed with this season. I don't think they have anyone that's scored like a lot of goals this season. I think it's been quite spread out. And yeah, guys, yeah, it's obviously a London derby. They're not our fiercest rivals. And for those of you that know me, I have quite a soft spot for Palace, so I'm really looking forward to this game. I quite like Palace. I don't think we've beaten them in quite a while. I feel like we've won like one of our last 7 or something. I feel like we've drawn a lot with Palace of recent years, and that is something that we want to snap out of, because the next few games we have a run where we could potentially pick up some points and move ourselves back up the table. If we are going to do anything this season, and I mean anything, including finishing in even a Europa League space, a Conference League spot, then we're going to have to start putting some wins together at some point. So now is as good a time as any to start, in my opinion. Yeah, they've got a couple of decent defenders. Palace, they have that one guy. What's his name? Let me just bring it up for you here, guys. Is it Anderson? I want to say Anderson. Let's have a looky. Oh well, my phone doesn't want to turn on for me. There you go. They've got quite a young centre-back partnership, guys. It's definitely something that we should be looking to exploit. I'm not entirely sure if this is the game that we want to do balls over the top of the centre-backs. It may be worth, in this game, playing Lacazette and trying to get some more quick one-touch play in front of their centre-backs. Although I do think that they play a relatively high line. So there may be some chances for some runs off the shoulder. The main thing I want to see out of this game, though, guys, is I want to see our attack function the way it functioned when we played Spurs, and to a lesser extent, the way it functioned when we played Burnley. Now, I know that Lacazette didn't play the reverse game, so it's a hard thing for me to say that and then say to play Lacazette. But, the last game against Brighton, we didn't really get started. I had a discussion with a few of my mates on chat during that game, and I was saying that I felt like we could get something out of that game. I didn't feel like they dominated us. And look, they had a lot of the ball, but Brighton don't possess any threat. I was never worried about the outcome of that game, because they can't shoot to save their lives, and they haven't been able to shoot to save their lives. They've been performing on XG pretty well this season, but they're just historically not very good finishers. So, we got to be careful that we don't let another team dominate us. We're talking about Crystal Palace here. This really should be a game that we are able to hold possession of the ball and do a lot better than we did in our last game. So that's what I want to see. In terms of the lineup, guys, the way I'd go about this one, obviously I'd have Ramsdale in goal, Kieran Tierney at left back, Gabriel, Ben White, Tomiyasu. The back line picks itself. The question in midfield is a difficult one. For me, I think what I would do this game is I would play Partey, Odegaard next to him. I would play Smith Rowe in the hole. I'd play Pepe on the left. I'd play Saka on the right. And I'd play Lacazette up front. So that's what I'd like to see, guys. I wouldn't be disappointed with Aubameyang starting. I think he needs to start kicking into some form, so maybe there is a good shout for just continually playing him until he gets into that form. But there does come a breaking point where you have to go, you know what, you're not doing it, my man, so maybe we need to bring in Laka. But yeah, I feel like we could get some joy if we play in front of the centre-backs in this game. So I do feel like it is a game that Lacazette could potentially get some minutes in. So yeah, guys, that's my predictions. Hopefully, apologies, guys. As I say, it's been a long and very draining day. Hopefully we can get something out of this game. I want to see 3 points, but more than anything, guys, I want to see a performance. It's time that we start seeing what Arteta wants implemented in this team, and it's time that we start we need to see the vision. We need to see the vision to keep buying into whatever this is, guys. So hopefully that happens. Look, if you can, subscribe, like, comment, it will all be very much appreciated, guys. Once again, rest in peace to Raymond. And hopefully we smash these Palace bastards, guys. So, laters.